Robert Kennedy Jr., as you surely know, announced his run for the Democrat ticket for this upcoming election against Joe Biden. But if you've been paying close enough attention, you know that the DNC is basically shunning Kennedy from even being in the arena. Now, RFK Jr. released a commercial over the last few days teasing some big announcement, and everybody is speculating on whether or not he's going to announce that he's going to run as an independent candidate. Well, that question leads to another thought. If Kennedy runs as an independent candidate, who will that hurt more? Trump or Biden? Well, last week, RFK was on Theo Von's podcast. Take a look at some of these clips.
But so what is your path then to really get to the presidential nomination for 2024? Is there a path for you, do you feel like?
Well, if President Biden steps down, the decision kind of has to be made by October 15th because
that's soon.
Yeah, because
you'll know before Halloween.
Yeah, the October 15th, you have to start qualifying in certain states so that you have to declare whether you're a Democrat or an independent or Republican.
Yeah.
And you can't, a lot of people think, well, you can run as a Democrat and then if you lose everything, then you can just switch to independent and run on independent, but you can't do that because a lot of states have sore loser laws that make it so that you have to choose early and you can't come in, once you've chosen Democrat, you can't switch to independent.
But you've already chosen that you're a Democrat, right? I mean, you've been a lifelong Democrat. Is there a chance that you would run as an independent? Do you look at that ever? And how do you even evaluate that?
Yeah, I mean, if they really shut down the process, we're right now, we're grappling with the DNC, trying to get them to do the right thing. But if they rig the process so that I can't possibly win, which is how it's rigged right now, then I would have to look at other options. I would have to look at running as, maybe outside of the party or something. I don't know exactly what I do. I'm hoping that they'll open up the process and let me run. We polled this week, and if President Biden steps down, I have a pretty clear path to the nomination. My numbers are better than any other Democrats, including the Vice President, Kamala Harris. If he stays in and they give me a fair fight, I think I can beat him.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's my turn. I think that he's obviously going to run as an independent candidate, but as an independent candidate, he cannot switch to another party, according to his own words here. And I don't think there's even a remote chance that he could win. I mean, one of the last candidates to run as an independent was Ross Perot, who won 19% of the popular vote in 1992. Ralph Nader won 3% in the 2000 election, and many Democrats blame Nader for Al Gore's loss to George W. Bush. Many people believed John B. Anderson helped Reagan win in 1980, gaining 7% of the popular vote, delivering a loss to Democrat incumbent Jimmy Carter, who's quite similar to Biden economically. George Wallace got 14% of the vote, the popular vote, in 1968 when Richard Nixon won. Theodore Roosevelt ran as a third-party candidate in 1912 when he got 27% of the vote against Taft and Woodrow Wilson, who won that election. My point is, third-party candidates never, ever win unless you count George Washington, but they only ever take votes away. And most of the time, it's from the Democrat Party candidate. So is that what's going to happen this time? I can't be certain, but I'm just thinking logically here. If Kennedy knows this information, all this data that we just talked about, then this move is intentional to hurt one of the leading candidates. So then the question becomes, who would vote for Kennedy? Like, who would actually support this candidate? I think it's more classical Democrats who there's plenty of. I think it's people who consider themselves independent or centrist. I think it's for elitist types who can't stand Trump, but they also can't stand the liberality and wokeness of the new Democrat Party. But based on the polling you heard me cite earlier concerning Biden's plummeting popularity and polling, and amid Trump's rising popularity in polling, I think this will hurt Biden more than Trump, because the large number of people who are loyal to the Democrat Party and who despise Donald Trump yet hate the condition of the country, and I think I'm describing a sizable group of people, those are votes lost from Biden, which ultimately helps Trump. And honestly, I know Kennedy is a liberal, but I would describe him as a classic liberal, which I know is merely just a regressive, like primal form of what we now have. But I think for that reason, that he's a classic liberal, Kennedy would even prefer Trump over Biden. But we'll see. We'll actually see in the next 10 days. And no, I highly doubt you'll see any sort of unification ticket with Trump and Kennedy. As a Christian, there's nothing wrong. In fact, there is everything good about swearing allegiance to the American flag. Now, why is that? Because of the virtues for which the flag flies. It speaks to our providential founding and has been for nearly 200 years a symbol of freedom to those who seek it. Now, you can fly the American flag with pride from your front porch or out in the front yard. You can even hang one on a wall in the house, the garage, the office, or wherever you wish. I recommend that you get a flag that will last and withstand the weather throughout the seasonal changes of the year. So check out the supplies at Allegiance Flags. Check the link in the show notes or head over to wethefreeshow.com for more. Military and first responders get 10% off all orders.